The case I could never solve. I retired from the FBI 12 years ago. In my career, I worked kidnappings, organized crime, and homicide cases across multiple states. Most cases eventually made sense. Some took years, but answers always came. Except one. It started in the fall of 1998. A woman named Sarah Whitmore was found dead inside her home in a quiet Pennsylvania town. She was 34 years old, a school teacher, and by all accounts lived a completely ordinary life. There were no signs of forced entry. Nothing had been stolen. The house was locked from the inside. At first, local police thought it was a medical emergency until they found a single gunshot wound. One shot, center of the chest. No weapon was recovered. That alone made the case strange. Then it got stranger. Neighbors reported hearing no gunshot, no scream, nothing. The medical examiner confirmed she had died around 11:30 p.m. Yet at 11:42 p.m., her landline called 911. The recording still bothers me. The dispatcher answered. There was silence for several seconds. Then a woman whispered, "He's still here." The call disconnected. Police arrived within minutes. Sarah was already dead, and she had been dead before the call was placed. We verified it multiple times. The timeline wasn't possible. The fingerprints on the phone belonged only to Sarah. No unidentified prints. No DNA. No evidence anyone else had been in the house. For months, we chased every lead imaginable. An ex-boyfriend, co-workers, family members. Nothing. Everyone had alibis. Everyone passed. Then we discovered something unusual. 3 months before her death, Sarah had filed a report with local police. She claimed someone had been entering her house while she was away. Nothing was stolen. Nothing was moved. She just felt that things weren't right. A picture frame would be turned slightly. A chair would be moved a few inches. Tiny things. Police found no evidence and dismissed it, but Sarah continued making reports. 5 in total, each one more desperate than the last. "I know somebody is getting inside." That was written in her final report. 2 weeks later, she was dead. The case went cold. Years passed. Then in 2007, I received a call from a detective in Ohio. A murder scene there had similarities. A woman found dead inside a locked house. No weapon, no signs of forced entry, nothing stolen. And one detail stopped me cold. A 911 call placed after the victim was already dead. The same words were whispered. "He's still here." The cases were eventually linked. Then a third appeared in Michigan, a fourth in Virginia. Same circumstances, same impossible phone call, same lack of evidence. To this day, none of those murders have been solved. No suspect was ever identified. No motive was ever established. Nothing. A few years before I retired, I visited Sarah's case file one last time. As I flipped through the photographs, I noticed something I'd somehow missed. On a bookshelf behind Sarah was a framed family photo. In every crime scene photo, the frame faced outward. Except one, a photograph taken just minutes before her body was discovered. The frame had been turned around, facing the wall. Nobody could explain what had happened, or who moved it. The image still sits on my desk. People ask me what I think happened. The truth is, I don't know. But after 30 years in law enforcement, I learned something. The scariest cases aren't the ones with terrible answers. They're the ones with none at all. And somewhere out there, whoever made those calls was never caught.